Hey, this is Matt once again. What about in the review? The other paid request this time from my good friend Mike OCP. And for those interested, request any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, wherever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Terminal Velocity, a 1994 film starring Charlie Sheen and Nastassja Kinski, and also directed by Deran Sarafian, who directed the Death Warrant film with Jean-Claude Van Damme, as well as another underrated film, Gunman, with Christopher Lambert, Mario Van Peebles, Patrick Stewart, Dennis Leary. Both that Death Warrant films I do enjoy. Same with this. I feel this one's a bit underrated. It came around the same time as Drop Zone, another skydiving movie, that one with Wesley Snipes, although I think this film's quite a bit better than Drop Zone. Drop Zone is okay, so at best. This one I thought I enjoyed the action scenes more. The story was a little bit more interesting because I enjoyed the humor. I enjoyed Charlie Sheen's character. He's definitely a normal guy, completely out of his league. He doesn't quite know how to shoot a gun. He doesn't know about the safety. He's confused, wondering like, what the hell's going on? He's not out to be a hero. He's just out to clear his name, which is understandable, in a way relatable, but he does the right thing overall still. And Charlie Sheen does play this daredevil skydiver. The first time we see him, he parachutes down this party, and on his butt it says "Kiss This." He's like, "This is the Bachelorette." And it's actually a party for little kids. So he got the wrong info, and he gets arrested. So he's a fun renegade type of character. One thing leads to another, and he's told to teach Nastassja Kinski a lesson about skydiving, parachuting, how it is up there, all sorts of stuff. Nastassja Kinski, she was in the remake of Cat People from the 80s. She's been in other stuff too. So they both go up for her to have her lesson in jumping. He notices something, or he's told to notice something, and when he looks over, the girl's disappeared. And when he looks over, there's a body falling to the earth, and he's diving towards her to try to get to her. Unfortunately, it's too late. And the skydiving scenes in this are pretty fun. They're entertaining. I think they're much more exciting than the ones in Drop Zone, which I know some people are like, what are you talking about? Just Drop Zone, there's teams parachute with each other. But this one, with the way Deran Sarafian worked the camera, and it just feels much more hectic and much more filled with energy. And even the style of the film, a lot of shots, I thought this was done a lot better here than, say, Battlefield Earth, where the director tries to have shots sort of off kilter. Battlefield Earth, it felt like every single shot was like this, but the director, I thought I just used it much more stylistic way. And then Charlie Sheen wants to get to the bottom of what happened. Why did this girl jump out? Why didn't she pull the parachute? What's going on here? And the story goes on from there. Now, other people in the film, you got Christopher McDonald, who's the bad guy Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler film. He plays a villain in this. You have James Gandolfini, may he rest in peace, who is the lead in the Sopranos TV show. He's in here as a DA agent. Even Ron Howard's dad, he makes a brief appearance in the third act of the film. And the movie, it works because Charlie Sheen, despite what you think of him as a person, at this time he had a good leading man charm to him. And he actually has quite a bit of successful movies, at least when I say successful, I mean they're very entertaining or underrated or worth a look. From Young Guns in '88 and going to the 90s, I enjoyed Men at Work with him and Emilio Estevez. I enjoyed The Rookie with him and Clint Eastwood. The Chase, that's a fun action movie where you got people like Henry Rollins in the cast. The Arrival, 1996, underrated film, underrated sci-fi film that came around the same time as Independence Day. I mean, Shadow. A few years later, did Shadow Conspiracy. That's an awful film. But it had a pretty decent, at least to me, track record. Sadly, not a lot of them were box office hits. I mean, The Rookie probably did okay, but didn't set the world on fire. Men at Work didn't do the best. This film bombed, sadly. The Chase didn't do much. And yeah, I don't think the film's as bad as people make it out to be. I don't think it's a 5.5 mediocrity as some people do. It's over the top, but I think it's done in a fun way. And I think at times it knows that it's winking at the audience. With the way Charlie Sheen talks, the way he behaves in certain situations, his wise-ass sense of humor. To me, it made it relatable. It made it where this guy realizes how crazy this situation is and how the hell did I get involved with this. There's bits where, like, she's got the... Oh, I didn't get to that part. Before I spoil that, the action scenes, like, there's a great rocket car scene that... There's a certain ejector bit that reminds me a bit of Die Hard 2, but in a good way. The ending stunt scene is fucking insane, where you're on a plane and one person's in the trunk, one person trying to get to the trunk to unlock, and the car falls off an airplane and the whole fucking car is going down, and there's all these... Yes, there's some up-close shots that are blue screen, because I don't think it was green screen. I might have been blue screen in this. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Green or blue screen? I keep thinking it's blue screen in this instance. But anyway, there are wide shots of actual skydiving stunt person with this fucking car that's fallen to the ground. Or maybe it was dragged behind an airplane, or I don't quite know how they did it, but it looks cool and spectacular. And yeah, it's crazy of an idea. It's crazy. A fucking car, and a guy in the car, and then some guys fighting with him and trying to attack him through the windshield, and then having to try to get to the trunk. It's an insane stunt. And yet, people who don't like that, I would ask them, why does Fast and Furious films get the pass? And even I said it was too much when he got to fucking Fast and Furious 9, they went into space. And even I said some of it's too much. But like, there's over-the-top stuff in Fast and Furious 5, Fast and Furious 6. And I still enjoyed it for its deep as entertainment. And if that gets a pass, I don't see why this wouldn't get the pass. And spoiler alert, you find out Nastassja Kinski is alive. You find out she faked her death. The body she used was her roommate, who dies at the beginning of the film. She's part of this KGB group that were fired, and I like Charlie Sheen's joke. Even the KGB, even they get laid off. He hasn't worded that way, but the way he worded it was a lot funnier than I made it out to be. And even the bit where they have to go to this plant and he's got to land on the right spot in this like aerospace plant facility. It's like, oh shit! It tries to hit the right bullseye spot. And he barely gets into the smokestack. And he's trying to get out. Poof, breaks. It rips before he can get to it. I did like a guy well over his head. He's not Superman. He's not Arnold. And I thought I gave him a little bit of relatable quality here. Or the shootout happens and he doesn't quite know how to work the gun. He's never done it before. They get in this rocket car and then it's going towards this dead end. And yeah, I know. Why is it that a lot of these movies, when they have the bit that they don't, whoever made this device, why didn't they have the failsafe like right next to them? Instead of having to be something they have to reach all the way to just get it. I don't know. It's just, sometimes it's just part of action movies. It's like, if you thought this through and building this rocket car, and you have a failsafe, as in, hey, I changed my mind, it'd be better just put it right here, 2 inches away from you, not something you have to reach all the way. But it's a trope done for suspense. You know they're not going to die, but it's part of the fun that I can deal with in this type of movie. It's a entertaining scene. I love the ejector bit. Shit! There's some fun lines of dialogue. At one point they're drinking and she swallows tequila and he's like, you swallowed the worm, and she's like, I've been trying to swallow all sorts of things. And then Charlie Sheen goes, careful, or I'll have to marry you. I thought that was pretty funny. Or they get into this plane and Charlie Sheen doesn't know what's going on. He's like, is this a nuclear thing? Huh? Is this some kind of nuclear, KG Russia thing? Is it your Russia nuclear? No, fine. Have this. It's like a metal thing, and he doesn't know what to do, so he puts it, I guess, by his crotch. And he's like, don't worry. I got my Coffeetron Dick Defender. There's some fun bits of dialogue. Oh, pat the bags. We're going on a deal trip. And again, I have to think the writer or someone in this had a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, a bit of a wink to action films. I mean, even when Nastassja Kinski is telling the story about her background, her family, her dog, that her dog has 3 legs and they call it tripod. And so Charlie Sheen's buy into it, but then much later on when he's kind of fed up with her shit, so, oh yeah, thanks for that story, and, oh yeah, what was that dog you had? A tripod? Yeah, this is so stupid, yeah, I'm supposed to believe that. But later on you find out he really does have a dog. I mean, she really does have a tripod dog. And I think this film has a bit more of a sense of humor than some people give it credit for, on purpose. And it's done for escapism and fun. It's kind of like Adventures of Ford. It's not quite to level Adventures of Ford Fairlane, but going a little bit in that direction of a wink. Like Adventures of Ford Fairlane, I never understood why people hated it. I'm like, this is clearly poking fun at action movies. The goddamn koala bear got hung. Just like in most movies, the guy's best friend or buddy or relative got killed. Here, it's a fucking pet he got as a rock and roll detective. It's a fucking koala bear that got a rope around its neck. Or when they go out, everything starts blowing up. The microwave blows up. The house blows up. They got my car. Then the car blows up. It pushes him back. The killer that won't stay dead. That film was clearly a parody poking fun at action films. It's like people either didn't care to get it or didn't get it at all. And I'm not saying this film's going that far, but I do think it's going in that direction more than people. And that's part of its charm. I think it has a charm to it where it's not. It's funny, some of the critics go, oh, it feels like Charlie Sheen's doing another Hot Shots movie. But I think that's on purpose, where it's not Hot Shots or Hot Shots pour deux, but it's still telling the story, but it's like, let's also have some fun with it. There's a gleam of a wink in the eye of the movie. I think it knows how this is not a. There's serious moments in it. The villains like James Gandolfini. Of course, you find out he's a villain. Which, I mean, it's James Gandolfini. You probably would have guessed that, yeah, he will be a villain. This is just James Gandolfini. But they work well. And the finale, even like Ron Howard's dad plays his biplane pilot, and they get on the plane, and Charlie Sheen needs to get to this plane where this car and Nastassja Kinski is kidnapped. And there's a bit where Ron Howard's dad goes, "Are you out of your mind?" And then Charlie Sheen's like, "Yes, yes I am." Which is weird saying that nowadays, because he is out of his mind. So it's like foretelling the actor's own future. But yeah, I enjoyed that line as well. And then I think the car at the end is insane. Even the stuff with the wind farm. There's some really good stunt work and entertaining action sequences. I think Charlie Sheen has a lot of charm and brings a lot of it to his performance. Nastassja Kinski worked well. She's beautiful to look at, and she worked fine for the story. I like the bit of sense of humor that it has within the story. I really don't have much issues. I think one time I made a list of like my favorite films of 1994, and I put Speed as number one. But this is definitely in the top five of my favorite action films of this year, '94. Like I said, I thought it had more charm, personality compared to Drop Zone. I thought the director did a competent, stylish job with it. The score was fine. I think the score complemented the movie fairly decently. Yeah, the story about gold bullion and help with the economy of Russia. When I say I was interested in the story, it's more of Charlie Sheen, the way his character gets put into it, the way he gets involved, his reaction to what's going on. That's part the story that I was more interested in. The MacGuffin, whatever you want to call it, is whatever. It's just there just to serve the plot. And I said the lines of dialogue. Like there's a line where, "Oh, she did for bullshit what Stonehenge did for rocks." No one can tell me that the writer, someone, they didn't have a sense of humor in mind when writing this film. Maybe people thought differently, and it's like how people view some of the Fast and Furious movies. That okay, they have a sense of humor, as that they know what kind of film they are. I think this film does as well, but no one wanted to give credit to Terminal Velocity. And even the title's cool, Terminal Velocity. There's a Blu-ray. It's pretty much bare bones because no one likes the film. No one wants to talk about the film. Like I said, the film was a bomb. That's why I'm actually surprised it got a Blu-ray. Looked fine enough, but it's not like it's don't get much of anything else on it. But I think it's a bit underrated. I think it's worth a look if you like action films. If you like Charlie Sheen, before he was one in Tiger Blood or whatever the hell. And no politics. Well, no gender politics or anything of the sort. Christopher McDonald was fine. Sometimes there's a part of me that kind of thought like James Gandolfini was the stronger villain. When I look at Christopher McDonald, I keep thinking of Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. He did fine in the role, but again, just each time I see him, it's like he's dead ready to go. I'll make you pay. Listen to what I say. Oh yeah, I'll go eat some hay and live by the bay. I just may. What you say? But like Christopher McDonald was fine. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I can't help it. I keep thinking of Happy Gilmore when I see him. So, I mean, if you had like a Brad Dourif or typical Brian James, these type of guys that would do these type of roles, I probably would have bought a bit more as that villain. But again, McDonald was fine for the part if I learned how to talk. It's fun escapism. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.